Hey guys, this is the first vlog on this channel. I'm hoping to do some vlogs as well where I can talk in front of a camera and then Caleb can do the same thing, and that way we can talk about things individually that maybe aren't good enough for an entire conversation on the podcast, or something that I'm interested in that he's not interested in, or the other way around, because there's certain things that we don't share interest in. Like, I play a lot of video games and he doesn't. He plays almost none. So I'll be doing this a bit more. Hopefully we can do this every few days, like 3 or 4 times a week, maybe every day. I don't know yet because I've got to teach him how to do it because he sucks with technology and computers and all that kind of thing. But basically, it's a way to have a bit more on this channel so it's not just dead after I upload the podcast to iTunes in a couple weeks, because there's not going to be really any reason to have the channel anymore if you can just go onto iTunes and automatically have it download every week whenever there's a new podcast. So I'm hoping that this can keep everything a bit more alive, if you know what I'm saying. So it's sort of a spin-off of the podcast. It's still going to have the same sort of feel where it's just us talking about geeky shit, but basically it's us in front of a camera so you can see our pretty little faces all the time, and we can talk about whatever we want, and maybe even uh, lead to things that we can talk about on the podcast. Like, maybe I'll mention something and he sees the video and he's like, hey, we should talk about that. That'd be pretty cool to talk about on the podcast. So it'll hopefully maybe give us more ideas of stuff to do, and it'll make sure that you guys have something to watch if you're interested. I mean, there's only like 50 of you right now who watch or listen to the podcast, but maybe we can get more people, and then uh, it'll give an opportunity for people to put comments in the comment box at the bottom of the YouTube page, and maybe have some like conversations with everyone as opposed to just me and Caleb talking on the podcast. So you guys can get involved with what we're talking about. You can post ideas, you can ask questions, and we can talk about that kind of stuff in the podcast. So even if it's just me and him on the podcast, you guys can have a bit of a say in the conversation and have your ideas put out there too. And it'd be pretty cool because we can have I have my laptop next to us. That's what I record on when I do the podcast. So I could have those YouTube comments up there, and then I can have like your questions. So I could be like, this person said, uh, you said this in last week's podcast, and I don't really know what you're talking about. Could you talk about that a little bit more? And like last week, we talked about Green Lantern and Ghost Rider. So maybe you don't know a lot about Green Lantern and Ghost Rider, and Caleb and I know a pretty decent amount. Caleb knows more than I do, especially about Ghost Rider. But if you guys wanted to hear more, then we would know that, and we could talk about that in the next one, and you guys can understand a little bit more what we're talking about, so we aren't just like blazing through everything that we want to talk about. And we should have another podcast next week, and it's going to be a pretty damn good one. I got something really awesome to talk about. The last one, I heard from somebody that it wasn't that good, and I listened to it. I kind of agree. It wasn't as good as the first one. That was probably because I was pretty goddamn sick. But I'm pretty much better. I still got a cough and stuff. But next week I should be better, and we should have a pretty awesome podcast for you guys to listen to. It's going to be pretty funny, and it might freak you guys out a little bit, so that's always good. Today's my birthday as well. I'm 21, which means I can buy alcohol, which I probably will rarely ever do, but I can do it, and that's all that matters. So, yeah, so look forward to seeing more of these uploaded uh, in the days coming up. I might do one tomorrow. I might do one on Tuesday. I haven't decided yet, but everybody have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.